Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, America. We come out here to prophesy the downfall of this wicked rulership ruled by Esau Edom, who is the so-called white man according to the scriptures. We come to prophesy the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, who is going to be at the head of destroying this place and the head of the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel. You know, we come to prophesy that 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those who go back to being an Israelite by their father's side, by blood, 1/3 of us will be saved, while 2/3 will be destroyed on this side in this coming destruction. You know, and our message is to repent, to turn unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is the true name of the Most High, Yahweh, and the true name of the Son, Yahweh Shai. We're to turn to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, to turn away from this world, to seek our ancient paths, you know, and come unto this truth, you know, and seek the Lord in righteousness. And if we be of the elect, you know, we will be saved, you know. We want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. I want to give a salutation unto the hopeful elect scattered across the four corners of this earth. You know, before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. You can grab that precept up and show.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Right, so it says his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And first and foremost, who is that man that is talking about whose soul is not upright? It's talking about Esau. You know, now Esau, you know, has turned into Edom and a nation of people. You know, we first see Esau in the book of Genesis, chapter 25. You know, and you know, like I mentioned, he is now the so-called white people, and the earth has been given into his hand. That's why the scriptures say in Job chapter 9 verse 24, what the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know, now the reason why the earth is in the state that it's in today is because the wicked is ruling. So when you know, like the scriptures say in Sirach chapter 10, if a brother could grab that, I think it's chapter 10.
As a ruler of people.
Yeah, you can start. You just start at the top.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
So it says a wise judge will instruct his people in what? In righteousness. A wise judge is going to instruct his people in the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And, you know, our apostles, our elders, they are our judges in today's time. They are the ones that's leading us, and they are instructing us in the righteous paths, you know.
It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
So what it's saying is, when you have a person that's ruling, their personality, their mindset, the way that they carry themselves is going to trickle down to the people that's underneath them. And so if you have, for example, if you have an army and the general of that army is a lackadaisical, lazy guy, then the rest of the soldiers, you may have some soldiers that are still on point, but they're going to start getting lazy. They're going to get lackadaisical because their example, their leader is, you know what I'm saying, he's showing a bad example. Now, with Esau ruling over this earth, his influence is going to take hold onto the people who he's ruling over. And we have to keep in mind that this is a whole world that he's governing. Now, of course, you have outliers. You have certain countries that still hold to a lot of their principles and morals, you know, but for the most part, this American way has been pushed upon the inhabitants of this earth. That's why you have something called, we can grab that precept first and then we'll get into it. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that hath made all the earth drunken.
Yeah, so it says Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and Babylon, America is Babylon the Great. This is the modern day Babylon. And it says that America has been a cup in the Lord's hand that made the earth drunken. So what it's saying is, let's read the rest of that.
God, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
So it says the nations have drunken of her wine, and her wine is, America's ways, America's philosophies, the way that America carries itself. And how do we see that happening? Well, let's look up Americanization. And you can go to the Wikipedia on it.
You said Americanization.
Yeah.
All right. The Wikipedia on Americanization, it says, is the influence of the American culture and economy on other countries outside the U.S., including their media, cuisine, business practices, popular culture, technology, and political techniques.
Right. So America is the number one influence of in the earth. And this American way stemmed from Esau. And it says what? That it's their influence on other countries outside the US, including their media. So you have like American shows and TV that's popular all the way in China, all the way in Africa, where they know about Disney Channel. They know about Zack and Cody. Like they're in, and Zack and Cody is just a silly example that comes off the top of my head, but even the uh the 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 debauchery of Esau, the things that that pushes bad morals, these things are prevalent in these different countries. So you have like black culture that's showed in these other countries, where the stuff that's put in movies, the stuff that's the stereotypes about us is shown in these different countries, and what it causes is what it causes these other heathen to look at us with an evil eye, because all they're going off is what they see on these TV and movies. So this is their image of what black people are, so to speak. I remember the Apostle did a video a while ago where he was going into something. It was in the Caribbean somewhere. I want to say it was Jamaica or something like that. But you had one of the little girls in the video, and she was twerking. Where do you think she learned that from? She learned that from this American culture that's trickling down there. Now they're getting TikTok and social media, and all these things are showing up on their phones, on their TV, and they're getting the bad influences of it. You got something?
God, going into how you were saying how they make Jake look bad in these other countries as well. It's Psalm 64, starting at verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, right? These elites. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Yeah, so it says that it's basically talking about slanders. It says they wet their tongues like swords, so they come up with all type of slanderous accusations, all type of stereotypes and things that they put upon us. Talking about how we're violent, talking about how we're dumb, how we're stupid, all these different things, and they use that as a weapon to hold over our people's heads. And so now there's a stigma placed upon us, and we can't even escape it when we leave this country. Now these other nations see us with that same stigma. You got something?
I was gonna say, like the crime statistic that's really big, where they say Jake commits a lot of crime or whatever. I was just watching a news short last night. This one Jake was bringing out how 2 officers got fired for falsifying crime statistics. Whenever a so-called black person would get in trouble, they would put that in the system and exaggerate it. But then an Edomite would get in trouble and they would lower it from, for example, from a felony to a misdemeanor. Basically, slander.
Yeah.
It's Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18. It says, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. So just going into what the brothers are going into now, as far as like stereotypes and things of that nature, certain things are true. You know what I'm saying? And that's really like when they say Jake is, thieves, the ghetto, this, that, and the third, and they're loud and belligerent. Sometimes that stuff is true. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, Jake is in a position of the curses. So certain situations do force Jake that are in the world to come off like that. But overall, Jake is a good people, man. You know, Jake it says that the Most High made man upright. They just sought out many inventions. So, Jake is just getting how they live, and you just got to take what come with it on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, we don't agree with everything that Jake do, but we support our people, you know what I'm saying, those that have some type of sense, you know?
Yeah, those that got sense, because you got the wicked of our people. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, a lot of these 2/3, a lot of these Israelites that's out in the world that don't got the truth is gone in the brain. Like Cardi B put a stripper pole on a motorcycle at the BET Award. Like, that's you done for. Like, there's no, I was about to say there's no repenting from that. But y'all get what I'm saying? It's like some Jake is just gone in the brain. But like you said, Jake still, as a nation, we're still an upright people for the most part. That's why the scriptures say that our people have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. To where like our people have principles. Our people are still like we still have excellence amongst our nation. It's just that we don't have the truth mingled in with it in a lot of cases, and so our people are still going after the world. They're going after the way that Esau has taught them and showed them. Really, because that's the thing. Esau puts all these stereotypes on us, talking about how violent we are, but Esau does it worse. Esau want to talk about this per capita thing with well, look how much crime they commit. They're only this part of the population, and Esau ignored the fact that we get prison at a much higher rate than them, even though we're lower in the population. Forget per capita, that's you targeting people.
Hey, that statistic you brought out, that's arrests. But they'll take that. They might have been innocent and let them go later, but they're gonna still keep that in the statistic and make it look bad.
Yeah, and it's like Esau's the influence in the earth, so he should be the benchmark in showing people how to carry themselves. How to be in the right mindset. How to, but yet your country is riddled with crime. Yeah, your country is what I'm saying, is like people talk about America as this benchmark of the world. Yeah, okay, you got different so-called rights, different freedoms compared to other countries, but the moral decay in this place is on another level. Look at the what's the word I'm looking for? Long story short, America carries itself with by capitalism, right? Which is basically a dog eat dog system. It's basically I need to be the best. I need to beat everybody around me. There ain't no sharing. This is my business has to be better than your business. And if you lose, so be it. That sucks to suck. Right. This is America's system and how they're teaching the world this is the best way to carry yourself. Right. And that way of living trickles down more than to just businesses. This is the mindset of the people, to where like Esau isn't teaching people to share, to lift your neighbor up, to work together. He's teaching be individual, try get your bag right. You get rich. You know what I'm saying?
But it makes me think like the same way like why we don't have cars that could run forever is because everybody that invents something that doesn't need gas, they get killed by this oil industry, man. Who's at the top of that is the Rockefellers, one of those elite banking families, man. And so it's like they would rather everybody else suffer having to use this bullshit gas over and over again than to stop making money. Like brother said, dog eat dog world. And they're doing it now with the data centers, polluting the whole world. It's like, fuck consequences. Let's just make money at all costs. Yep. It's a terrible mindset, man.
Yeah.
I got a quick preset.
And Esau has taught our people that that's what success is. So now on a smaller level, now that's what our people are running after. That the more money you have, that's how successful you are. And if you gotta cut the legs underneath your brother to get it, then it is what it is. You gotta look out for your own. You gotta be successful. This is what our people think success is, because that's what Esau thinks success is.
This is Proverbs 28, verse 16. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days.
Says he that hated covetousness. Hey, how you doing? What are you guys doing? We're preaching the truth of the Bible. Yep, 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 yep. Y'all have a good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It says he that hated covetousness will prolong his days. So it says, and what is covetousness? To covet something is to look at something that somebody else got, and you be like, man, I want that, even if you don't need it, just because you want to keep it all to yourself, just because you want to be at the top of the hill, and everybody else has to be underneath you. That's what this mindset that the so-called white man is under, and it's so out of control that it's to the point to where he wants to enact this MOTP, this RFID chip, so that he can own everything down to the human race itself. So that he can have everything in his possession. You still holding that Habakkuk, or is there more to that precept you had?
Nah, but I can grab that Habakkuk for you.
Yeah, go back to Habakkuk and go to verse 5. You know, like Esau is greedy, and it says what, that you will prolong your days if you don't have that mindset. And that's why he needs to be destroyed, because he's to the point to where he thinks that he's the Most High. He's like, man, this is all mine. I'm God. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna control all this. This is how I want it. This is the way that I think it should be. You know, and he's going out of his bounds. Yes, sir?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 8. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, and thou that dwellest carelessly, and sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come unto thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. And I want to bring that out, because that's the mindset that Esau has, is none else besides me, even knowing that there's a power in the heavens, like you mentioned, through the Spirit. He thinks he is the Most High. This is why he says, no man, nobody else seeth me. The Lord, who is he? The Lord ain't going to require it. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking he's doing things by his own fruition, and that he's going to continue. But it says that the Most High, with Esau having that same mindset and being, like I said, also dwelling in the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance and thine enchantments. You know what I'm saying? Democracy. You know what I'm saying? How you control the media. Like, you're thinking that you're going to continue to do these things for forever and ever, but the Most High said he's going to chop that time short, and he's going to pull you out of that mindset of pride. Like they have a saying in the world: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And guess what? Esau, he's become very, very large in this world, man. He's at the top of the food chain, right? So guess what? His fall is going to be a great fall, right? But that you got it, brother.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, you gotta have it.
This is Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
Says he transgresseth by wine. So just like he's spreading this wine to all these different nations, and he has all these wicked philosophies, his wicked way of life, it says that he's transgressing by that wine. And it says, what was the next part it said?
It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
So it says he's a proud man and neither keepeth at home. And this is part of Esau's what's that word when you feel like you deserve something even though you don't deserve it? Entitlement. Yeah, Esau is a very entitled. He has a very high sense of entitlement, and it says what he doesn't keep at home, and that's where you get into Bible Bashar. Can you look up the Monroe Doctrine? Because what Esau does is that he take it upon himself and writes into legislation that he has the right to go into different countries and police those countries. That if anything ever gets froggy there, that he'll come in and save the day. But nobody asked for him to do that. It's just we're America, and we're the good guys, so we're gonna come and help everything out. When really it's so that they can get a foothold in that country and get to the resources or have a part to play in the power system or whatever the case may be. You got that?
Yep, I got this. An AI overview. It says the Monroe Doctrine was a U.S. foreign policy framework established in 1823, declaring that the Americans were off limits to further European colonization and interference. It asserted that any European attempt to intervene in the Western Hemisphere would be viewed as an hostile act against the U.S.
So look up the Roosevelt Corollary. Now, what this was about is that that Monroe Doctrine is where the U.S. and the UK made an agreement that the US wouldn't go on the UK side of the world, and the UK wouldn't come on this side of the world. And what it was is that the UK could do whatever they wanted in Africa without the US intervening. And that's where you have like that picture of Queen Elizabeth, and she got all them jewels on, and it's all type of different jewels and stones that's from like African countries. Because Britain was all up in there. That's where you get apartheid. You know, the UK, basically what South America is to America is what Africa was to England. And the Monroe Doctrine was basically them being like, we're not going to step on each other's zones on how we messing over these people. So let's get that Roosevelt quote.
The Roosevelt Corollary was a 1904 expansion of the Monroe Doctrine, announced by President Theodore Roosevelt. It asserted the right of the U.S. to intervene militarily in Latin American nations experiencing political instability and financial crisis.
So they saying whenever there was any political instability going on, whenever there's any financial crisis, you know, even if America has something to do with that instability or crisis, they can come in. They can come in militarily and solve the issue. They don't got nothing to do with it. They don't. If they have something to do with it or they don't. Even if they don't know what's going on, they like, what's all this going on down here? Or I'm going to send my army and sort it out. You know, then nobody asked for that.
Yeah, which makes sense on why they moved on Venezuela how they did.
Exactly, because that same mindset is even all the way to this day. So like you said, that's what Trump did with Venezuela. To where he like, man, we about to just go up in there and
he's not a good leader.
He's not. I don't like what he's doing. We gonna fix it for y'all. We're gonna give y'all a piece of American freedom.
Then all that oil starts getting shipped, and everybody forgets about it.
Everybody forgets about it.
Yeah, this is a fucking Esau. He's just in a habitation of damn hypocrites, man. Hypocrites and fucking it's just all out evil, man. That's fucking evil. I the Monroe Doctrine. Nobody can't come fuck with you, but you can go fuck with other people based off of the expansion. And who established this?
Esau himself. It said that President Roosevelt came and said he didn't make no agreement with no Latin leader. He didn't say if anything ever going on, right? If anything ever going on down there, we gonna go sort it out. He didn't ask nobody. You know. But that's going right into that precept. It says that he doesn't keep at home. Is there more to it?
A little bit more. It says it asserted the right of the U.S. to intervene militarily in Latin American nations experiencing political instability and financial crisis, effectively establishing the U.S. as an quote-unquote international police power to prevent European interference in the Western Hemisphere.
And this is what America has constantly done over the years, to where they want their influence all over the world. Look at what happened in World War II. When all that fighting was going on, America came in at the end of the war and asserted their dominance. And now they're like, you know what? All y'all, we gonna do trade by the U.S. dollar. And for a while, that had America as the strongest empire in the earth. But that dominance is slipping in today's age, and we see it. And that's why you have like the boomers and the Gen X. Well, I believe it's the boomers, the Gen X generation. Their economies was on point, because that wasn't during a time where America was really up there like that, and you know, everybody for the most part had an opportunity to make a lot of money, to have a home, a big family, and still have money left over, you know, and live comfortably. But over time, that dominance has slipped that America once held, and so now the people are feeling it. So now Gen Z, you know, and people today, we're not making the same money. Everything's getting more expensive, but the wages aren't going up. You know. But we can get back to that though.
I got a quick research. God, this Psalms 55, starting at verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yeah, you gotta go.
God, you know, going into how he always frames it like, yeah, we're going to go over there and sort it out. If there's anything going wrong, it's all about protecting democracy. And it always sounds good, but it's always to do what? To fuck you over in the end, you know? everything this devil does is like that. Same thing with the jump shot in 2020. Same thing with the uh, the contracts he signed with the Native Americans going all the way back. You know,
Mhm.
it says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Yeah, because he's that red horse that came to take peace from the earth.
Yep. And the scriptures call him what? A serpent.
Yeah.
And a serpent comes craftily. A serpent comes deceitfully. It acts like everything is cool, and then it'll bite you.
Yeah.
You know, he was like that scorpion. What was that? It was like a scorpion with like a bird or something like that. There's an old story where the scorpion was like trying to get across the pond or something like that, or the lake, and it hits the ride with a different animal, and they was getting across, and the scorpion stung the animal, and they both was falling into the water. And he like, yo, like, why would you sting me? Now we both about to die. And he like I just couldn't help it, bro. Like like I'm a scorpion. What did you expect? You know, like.
Hey, that's how the Lord is gonna destroy this place. It's gonna go out by white on white crime, man.
Con, yep. Yeah, Russia gonna be fighting against, these American Edomites. It's gonna be like Esau's house is really gonna implode and fall in on itself. Even within America, we see that happening. So where Trump is making certain decisions, and then you got the governor state to state that's not agreeing with him, and they're disagreeing and arguing, and they not knowing who wants to make what decision. Like this house is imploding on itself. And it says, what if a house be divided against itself? How can it stand? It's just like that one show, House of Cards. A house of cards in and of itself, it once it's stacked up, it looks fire, but it's very fragile. You take out one piece and it's all gonna fall, and that's how America is is. Yeah. There was some more to that, but okay. We finished verse 5.
Back in Habakkuk 2, verse 5, it continues. It says, "Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied."
That's the end of it.
There's a little more. "But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people."
Yeah, so it says his desire is as hell and death. And hell is just talking about the grave. That myth that there's an underworld where your soul burns for eternity. That's not what the scriptures is talking about when it talks about hell. Hell is talking about the grave, and it says, why does it say that his desire is as hell and as death? Because like there's the common phrase, there's two guarantees in life, death and taxes, right? But death is something that meets everybody, right? So it's saying like it's something that's ever growing. You can't stop it, and that's how Esau's desire is. He just got to have everything. He wants it all, and it's to the point where it says, "When he gathered unto him all people, and he put unto him all nations." So that takes me back to that Americanization, to where you have things that was established here, and it's all the way in these other countries now. Look at all these brands and all these franchises. Now you have McDonald's in China, you have Burger King in China, you have McDonald's in Africa. Now I mean, look at the American influence, to where like these people from these different countries want to wear suits and ties. You know what I'm saying? And work in corporate buildings, and you got Apple and Samsung and all these different businesses. They all have their influence in these other countries, and there's just their versions of it. But this is Esau heaping unto them all people, and it's really going to manifest. That capitalist mindset is going to manifest when that chip comes out, because then he's going to want everybody underneath his grid for good. You got something though? God, so but this mindset of being insatiable and always just wanting and needing the next thing. This goes all the way back to Esau, the man in the scriptures. Just like when Jacob was making that pottage, and Esau came out from the field, and his fault was that he couldn't be patient. He's like, I'm so famished. I don't care that it's not done yet. Just I can eat right now. Jacob like, bro, just wait till they get cooked. And he couldn't help himself. And so that's Esau all the way to this day to where he just can't help himself. He don't care if it's morally upright, if it's pleasing unto him, if it if it feels good to him, he's gonna go after it. And that's what he's teaching people to walk after. He's not teaching people morals. He's teaching people to walk after what feels good. He's gonna make you work for him. He's gonna make you power his system, and then he's gonna tell you in your free time, just kick your feet up, drink a beer, watch TV, go spend money. Esau weaponizes dopamine, and he keeps people in a low state by doing that. Because for real, Esau weaponizes dopamine.
Yeah, like these freaking social medias and YouTube shorts, and it's like it already starts playing before you get a chance to look. I'm like, damn, let me look first,
bro. Like you open up YouTube and a short is just playing. Exactly, yeah. Or it's like if you're scrolling, there is no like looking for the next video. It's just playing and playing and playing. It's just a constant stream of content. And Esau has this down to a science. He knows how our brains work to where he knows it's going to continually keep us coming back. It's going to continue to keep our eyes glued to the screen. And what it does is that it has people constantly looking for the next hit. To where people are not even worried about the fact that this place is crumbling.
Yeah.
People are not even worried about the fact that they're slaves. Yeah. Even if they realize it, they're like, well, I'm too tired from work to do anything about it. I might as well just scroll. Esau trying to turn everybody into zombies. And again, I'm gonna say it again. It's all gonna manifest when the chip comes out, because what that's gonna do is that it's gonna allow people to live in a virtual world where you don't have to worry about no responsibilities. You can just live in a digital paradise. And there's people who's already sold on that idea. If they could be in a video game all day, every day, and not have to worry about nothing, they would do it. And it's going to come to a point for it that in order for you to do that, you got to pledge your allegiance to Esau's system.
I want to go back to this Isaiah 47 and read the NLT to Isaiah 47 and 8. Just further elaborate on that point. It says, "Listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one, and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children."
And that's the thing. That's Esau's mindset, but that's even the people's mindset. They're like, I've had a conversation with people, who's in that that American mindset, and I'm talking to them like, about the prospect of World War III. Do they think that America could ever be, struck by another nation, or that war could ever come to the shores? And they're like, I mean, nah, that couldn't happen. Look at America's borders. It'd be so hard for a country to get over here, or no country would ever dare fight America. They just think that they good, that everything is going to continue to run the way that it is. Because, again, Esau's mindset trickles down to the people. So they think, man, I'm about to just keep going home every day and watching my television. And yeah, things is getting hectic, but it'll die back down like it always does. Yeah, things are, but it'll smooth itself out. And they think that they just not going to get touched. They think that they're never going to have to deal with how these other countries have dealt with war. They think they're never going to have to deal with how these other countries have dealt with insecurity, famine, drought, because they've never had to deal with it. But they think because it's never happened that it's not possible. But even Rome fell. The greatest empires upon this earth, they were at a point where they was like, man, who can touch us? And they fell.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Yeah, you want to get into it?
Come on, yeah, that's part of why Esau has that mindset. They keep doing all this. They did slavery, they never got touched. Mm-hmm. They robbing all these nations, they never got touched. They bombed Japan, nothing ever happened. So they feel like they could just continue to do all this wickedness and oppression. But like the scripture says, in 1 hour, Babylon's going to be destroyed. Yeah. It's going to come by surprise.
Right. And all this evil that they've done unto our nation, all this evil that they've done unto these other countries in the earth, all this evil that Esau is doing is just a shadow that's growing and growing and growing. and eventually it's gonna knock. And they haven't had to deal with it yet. So they think everything all good, but it's lingering. You know, what the scripture says? It says for a land polluted by blood cannot be cleansed, but of the blood, but of those who shed the blood. And it's the Lord's determination that this place will be cleansed, that this earth is going to be cleansed. And everybody that had a part in shedding that blood, and everybody that had a part in making this place the way that it is, they're going to pay for it. These elites is just sitting in a I don't know what they do in their free time. I
got an idea.
Yeah, we got an idea. I don't, but they just sitting in their little secret chambers, just thinking that, man, like this, everything's going to plan. We're just gonna continue to rule. You know what I'm saying? Everything's coming to pass how we want it to. They just think it's gonna continue like that, bro.
Yeah.
And the Lord's just gonna come and shut it all down. And the thing is, if not for the Lord, their rule, what these elites have planned out, it would continue. That's the thing. This is a very strong grip that Esau has upon this earth. You know, but that's the thing. That's why we need the Lord to come back, because Yahweh Shai is the only one that can shut this whole thing down.
I got a piece of it. This is Matthew 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Mm-hmm.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this precept recently, because what the scripture is saying is that if it wasn't for the Lord shortening the days, if it wasn't for the Lord bringing Esau's rule to a stop, then the whole earth would go extinct. Why? Because Esau's rule would just continue and continue and continue, and he would furthermore pollute this earth. He would furthermore destroy everything. He would bring the earth into a state of war. Nuclear fallouts will happen. All type of evil will come upon this earth, and there would be no solution. He would just destroy it. Yeah. It's just like that one it was a YouTube video, and I can't remember what channel it was from or what, but it was like it was just this dude got placed into the earth, and he's walking about, and then he sees some snakes, and he places his feet into the snakes, and now he got boots. And he's walking about, and he sees like some animals, and you know, he kills the animals, and he got some fur that he put on. He's like, all right. You know, he's chopping down trees, and now he's raising up his factories. He's raising up his businesses, and in the process, he's smiling. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing everything I want to do. The whole time he's killing everything. And by the end of it all, he has a throne that he's sitting upon heaps of garbage and trash on top of the earth. But he's sitting on it like, yeah, I did it. I conquered everything.
I think I might have seen that before.
You know, and by the end of it all, the part that's the most spiritual about all of it is that after everything was over, what came, it had a couple chariots that came and zapped him. Yeah. You know, they came and they was like, damn, what the hell happened here? And they just seen him sitting upon his throne, and they zapped his ass.
Get rid of this virus.
You know, and that's what the Lord's about to do. Yahweh Bashim Shai sees everything going on upon this earth.
That was the most vivid illustration of Esau, his whole walk, bro.
Yeah,
I do have a precept for you. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. You know, and I wanted to bring that out because, you know, correlates with the precepts that the brother's been bringing out, you know, with the Amos 8 and 11, how the evil work is not executed speedily, right? Because the Most High said he's slow to anger. He's allowing, he says only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Most High is building a rap sheet up against this guy, right? And on the flip side, when it comes to the nation of Israel, what does he say? Towards us, he's long suffering. So all this is happening at one time where we're having to suffer and watch Esau Edom destroy this earth. Watch him be an all-out demon, an all-out Mo. Watch him be unfair with the unrighteous decrees. putting trying to turn the Most High's people and really all humanity into his personal slaves. The Most High is allowing Esau to have this mindset, but he said that he is slow to anger.
Yeah.
And when you go into that word acquit, it means to not be cleared of a fault. And Esau, his faults, it says that in Revelation chapter 18, it says that his iniquities have reached unto the heavens.
I got that for you if you want. God, this Revelation 18, verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities.
And the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So Esau, he can be in that mindset where he think that the Most High don't require it, going back to Psalms 10, all right? But the Most High, he don't forget nothing, man.
Yeah.
He don't forget a damn thing.
And there ain't nothing to forget because he's doing it even to this day.
Currently.
He's doing it currently, bro. He's still killing our people. He's just being more subtle about it. He's still oppressing us. He's still spreading homosexuality. He's still doing all these abominations. So there's nothing to forget. And the thing is, the Lord, the Most High deals in eternity. You know, so when you get into like the Most High, time ain't a thing to the Most High. Like we deal with time. We're dealing second by second. The Most High sees that all time at the same time. So he sees the culmination of Esau's wickedness from the beginning all the way till now, all the way till the hour that he's destroyed. He sees everything that Esau has done. So there's nothing for the Most High to forget. He sees it all.
Yeah. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men. You know?
Yeah, and so my point is that his destruction that he's going to bring upon Esau is going to be more than justified, bro, because we see it. You know, the people of this earth see how bad Esau needs to go, but the Most High sees the secret things that Esau is doing. You know, the things that the wickedness we don't know that he's doing. He sees the stuff behind closed doors. He sees the stuff that we've forgotten. You know, and he's going to judge him for all that. It's going to be a very violent destruction. That's why the weapon of choice that the Most High is using to get Esau, to get America up out of here is justified. When you get into the science of a missile, it's ridiculous how hot they get. It's like almost like comedic, the temperature that it says that they get to. It's like billions of degrees. You know what I'm saying? It's like at that point it's just hot. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, like once you get past like 100,000 degrees, at that point it's just hot. But it gets to millions of degrees, you know, hot when the missiles explode at their center, and there's gonna be so much of them exploding that it's gonna incinerate this place. Like it's gonna wipe it away, as if like it didn't exist.
These things can't even bear 90-degree weather. Yeah, so you go ahead.
I got how hot does a nuclear blast get? The core of a nuclear blast can briefly reach temperatures in the tens of millions of degrees, with some detonations exceeding 100 million degrees Celsius, which is 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. This makes the center of the fireball several times hotter than the core of the sun. Damn.
So the Lord gonna be sending a bunch of suns at America, like a bunch of mini suns, just destroying this place, bro.
Hey, the Lord's gonna do an overkill on this place.
Yeah, and that's why I said that the earth is gonna be destroyed down to the foundation thereof. Like America is gonna be a big America-sized, you know, crater in the earth. This place is really gonna get turned into a desert. It's gonna be dust, sand, just destruction.
That's why they call it the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. Like we gotta keep the main thing, because what's one of the main reasons Esau is about to be destroyed the way that he is for what he did unto the Most High's people. And that weak ass horn. He was trying to, but it's for what Esau has done unto the Lord's people. You look at the people in the sign and think about all the atrocities that he's done, and again, the stuff that hasn't even been documented. You know, and the thing about it is that Esau doesn't want to take accountability for it. In fact, he wants to erase the history. You know, he wants to act like it didn't happen. But you can't. You can't. That's a part of American history. The establishment of this country is upon the fact that you made us build this, or else you killed us, or else you tortured us, or else you beat us. You know, it's built upon the murder of our people. It's built upon the displacement of the native tribes. This is what this place is built upon, and he wants to erase all of that. You know,
Yeah, they said that slavery was the foundation for capitalism. You know, like I was reading testimonials from slaves. This one so-called black woman said, you know, she had to work. She had to become ambidextrous to keep up with Esau's quotas. She had to pick cotton with one hand in a certain way and pick cotton in another hand. And it's like you're doing two things at once. Then at the end of the day, when the sun go down, she had to use a candlelight. If not, that they will whoop her bloody. And it's like, just think about that for your whole life and your children's life. You just working nonstop. You're not getting paid for it.
and living in terror while you're doing it.
Living in terror. And it's like, damn, we don't even get a plot of land for that shit. That's fraud right there, man. That's defrauding a labor of his hires. It's just so much wickedness that Esau got to suffer. You know, he got to really, like, he really, really got to suffer. That's why the scripture says he's going to suffer double. You know, double for what Jake had to go through. It's going to be 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, terror for Esau.
And during the time of of slavery, when Esau was doing all that, he was from him saying that we was less than human, and that gave him all right to do whatever he wanted. So he basically was justified to act however he wanted. He had nothing holding him back. And so now today he's still committing atrocities to our people, snatching up the Northern Kingdom, bringing them into concentration camps. But he has to be more subtle, for lack of better words. Right. In the times of slavery, he could do whatever he wanted, and it showed how depraved that Esau can get, to the point to where he's just murdering babies, to the point to where he's making furniture out of Jake, using their teeth for his teeth.
Yeah, George Washington.
Yeah, Jake. Like, that's how depraved that Esau got. And these are the things that we know about. Imagine the stuff that he was doing on a daily to Jake. Just because again, this is Esau in his element to get as nasty, as evil, as cruel as he wanted to be, and there was no judgment for it at the time.
I got a precept for him.
God, you can grab yours first. He was holding that.
This is Psalm 79 and 9, about 4 verses. It says, "Help us, O Most High of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. Let the sign of the prisoner come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die. And render, and we are appointed, and we're in a time of misery. You know what I'm saying, as Israelites, but through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we're still here and still praising his name. And we're joyful in calling upon his name because we know he's our protection, right? But at this point, we are vexed in the spirit and ready to die as a nation, right? Because of the atrocity that's going on amongst the Israelites, right? It says, now this is the point. It says, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Yahweh. So just once again, harping on that point. That Esau, Edom, you're gonna have to pay that tab, man. And the Most High says sevenfold unto their bosom. And Revelation says render unto them double. So whatever that we receive, you're gonna get it in a complete fashion, man.
Yep,
and righteousness, right? But that was it, brothers.
I got Zechariah 11 verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Yeah, it says they hold themselves not guilty. So they do all these evils, and then they try to wipe over the history and act like it didn't happen. They do all these evils, and they say, oh, it was a thing of the past. That's over with now. Now we're equal. They do all that, and then they act like everything is all good because now we can go and get a job. Like, no, you still you like the Lord doesn't deal like that. You know, the Lord doesn't just let people do stuff and then, like the scripture said, because sentence against an evil work not executed speedily is fully set in the hearts of men to do evil. So they think that, you know, because it hasn't happened yet, that it's not going to happen down the line. But the Lord remembers. The Most High is holding that judgment, and He's just letting it build up so He can hit you on over top the head with it.
I was gonna say even jobs is hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you try to get a job. There was an article that said, if you have a white name, you're 50% more likely to get a job than if you have a black name because they won't even call those names back.
Yeah. Or like Jake got a code switch on the phone. We gotta talk more proper.
Talk like an Edomite.
You know? But and that's the thing. Esau act like everything's cool now. But if it was like I mentioned, Esau let his depraved nature and his cruelty really show during the times of slavery because he was completely, at the time, he was completely justified to do what he was doing. They said that we was less than human. They said that, you know, we was 3/5 of a man, so they could do whatever they wanted and it wasn't wrong. But now that it's wrong, now they have to carry themselves more upright. They can't just treat Jake however they want to, you know. But if it was still how it was back then, if there wasn't all these cameras everywhere, if we wasn't in the society being today, Esau would still be treating us the same way. They just put on a smile now. We got to remember that these people are snakes. These people act like everything all good, but let society crash. These Edomites out here are gonna be showing their true nature. They gonna be the ones getting most down and dirty. You know, that's what we started off with the precept. What? Habakkuk 2:4. The soul which is lifted up in him is not upright. You know, but Esau is just good at hiding. You know?
Shit, I was listening to y'all on the way here. Y'all just going over the missiles, man, and you know, I was just looking up that word fire. We were talking about that, about the millions of degrees, you know, and the Lord say He's gonna, and you know, He's gonna kindle the fire, which means to increase, man. You know, and I was just looking up verses and just like the immense amount of verses that are available, but there's a couple that I wanted to get. I believe it's in First Peter's. No, let's get second. Nah. I forget which one I was looking at, but because I was looking for one that says the Lord shall increase the fire. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that, you know, the Lord is going to send fire upon this place, and the amount of times when we talk about judgment and how the Lord perceives it, and we can go to the word kindle the fire while I look for that one. You know, because the Lord's going to increase the fire here, man. All right, and that fire is going to be the judgment and the cleansing agent upon this place. Okay. No, you good. Good. What you got? I'm looking up some.
Okay, I just read it. Luke chapter 12, verse 49 says, "I am coming to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled?"
Yeah, and that's the one I was actually looking for. Another one. That was the second one, but that ain't it.
Okay.
But you know, he said, "What if fire if it be already kindled?" You know what I'm saying? The kindle means to increase. Okay, the Lord's gonna blow on the fire. It's gonna increase the temperature. Like, you know, this judgment is going to increase in itself. That the missiles in itself is also allocated to this judgment. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get worse and worse and worse, and the Lord's gonna continue to increase and rev this shit up, man. When it comes to how about Shimon Shai's judgment, You know, it's Alashaja, the terrible power, man. Okay,
Con, I think I got the one you were looking for.
good,
Ezekiel
good.
20 and 47. It says, "And say to the forests of the south, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee, and every dry tree. The flaming flame shall not be quenched, and all faces from the south to the north shall be burned therein."
Yeah, yeah. So, in its entirety, like I said, the Lord's going to increase His fire, to increase the judgment. All right, from people being destroyed, from people being judged, man. And it ain't talking about somebody a slap on the wrist. It's talking about bad things, earthquakes. Normally it'd be like probably two people. Now it's like hundreds of people. You know, starvation. You know what I'm saying? People, little kids dying. All right, what's going on in these wards? The Lord then woke up these spirits, especially these Amalekite small hats. They wicked as hell. They definitely, it's their haunts coming out, the way they treating kids, judging them, you know.
Kind of had a precept as well in Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 12. It says the earth quaketh, or I kind of start from this. It says the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of His power. I want to get the point on verse 14. It says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth."
Yeah, because it's more than just, the Lord's gonna make this place desolate. All right, which is to waste it away, completely destroy it. Ain't gonna be no bouncing back. Like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they bounce back. Mm-hmm. All right, but America, there is going to be no return. In every aspect, its concept, its form of government, its tyrannical rulership, its methods of war, its technology, the laws and commandments that come out of this place, all that shit's going to be put to an end, man. All right, symbolically, physically, literally, congressionally. No legislations, no locations, nothing on the GPS. All right, all the Lord's gonna wipe all that shit out, man.
Yep. It's Second Peter chapter 3 verse 10. "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up."
Yep, the works therein. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is. That's why it says who we shall trade with. All right, ain't gonna be no mass production. There's a lot of things that we're used to that the Lord's gonna make things new, man. Okay, where you deal with the barter system, the way marriage is set up. Okay, what time you work, time you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Having an apple tree in your backyard, it hit different. That's why when I was young, you could see it. People used to always have like some type of fruit tree, but they start taking out them female plants, man, and it stopped a lot of plants from reproducing. Okay. I wanted to get that Second Peter's 3 and 7 as well. But they got a couple of them I'm gonna get, of course.
Second Peter chapter 3 verse 7 says, "But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment."
Yeah, getting back to that fire, man. All right, which is going to be in the thermonuclear missiles, fire and brimstone. Okay, and the chariots going to be blasting their fire. Which, if the missiles already is on millions of temperature and heat, the Lord's going to turn around and add onto that heat with the beams from the chariots, man. All right, that chariot's going to open its mouth. or as it says in second Esdras, wherever so it looked, it was not to be perceived. All right, meaning it blew your ass away, man. Okay, and if a missile could burn your shadow into the ground, how much more of that and a concentrated heat blast from a chariot, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Yeah, because that's the ancient way of the Lord creating the so-called Great Reset was through the flood, which is what a cleansing agent. Right? It's like you wash soap, wash dishes, use soap and water. Right? But the Lord said that this place is reserved unto fire under the same judgment. All right. And so you read in the days of Noah, people just fucking off, you know, marrying and giving in marriage. The scriptures say you could do that. Let's get that real quick, Baba Shah.
Marrying, giving in the marriage.
Yeah, as a in the days of Noah.
Okay.
So Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37 says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be."
Yeah. Oh, you can read that again.
It says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark."
Yeah, let's get into that. What does it mean to be eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage? It's like a chat GBT, some type of, way of, getting that together. Because we got our assumptions pretty much. It ain't like you're reveling. Your soul, your desire is directed towards this world. You haven't came out of her. Your whole concept of teaching and prophesying is based off of how to maintain what you got, not cripple your talent spiritually or anything like that. Talking about going to college, talking about growing up. Okay, it's nothing of intent of saying let's step further with improving ourselves within the ministry. Okay, within making myself an acceptable sacrifice. Okay, that's worthy of salvation. All right.
It says, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage represents normal family life, relationships, and societal continuity.
Normal family life.
People planning futures, weddings, and building households as if nothing catastrophic were coming.
You see? So when you talking about burgers and fringes, when you're talking about we building communities, you know what I'm saying? Now we are meant to be a community. We're community people. But there's a time and place for everything under heaven. Let's get that. And it says a time for gathering and a time for refraining. Now, there is a time for gathering, but it's the elect. You know what I'm saying? And that's, hey, to all brothers, we got to understand that. There's a time for closing in. And this is the time for closing in. The tighter shit get, you should want to hunker down and get tighter than to get, like, don't do like Scooby-Doo and them, like, hey, let's everybody split up. Things get hectic and oh, I got an idea, we can get a lot done if we all split up. It's like, nah, like this is the time motherfuckers is disappearing. Yeah. It's the time you stick together.
Let's split up and go look for the people that's disappeared.
Yeah, like, no, man, let's stick together.
You want the rip, or you want me to skip around with
the what?
Time and purpose under heaven?
Nah, I just want that one part.
Okay. This is Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And you wanted to refrain from the gathering part?
Yeah.
It says, a time to cast, verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing.
Yeah. So and that's like a twofold within one moment. So it's a time to stop dealing with niggas, and it's a time to deal with the brothers and the elect. You know what I'm saying? And Satan knows that. So Satan will do shit to make your life hard. And you're gonna anytime something gets threatening to your life, you're gonna do what? Become self-preservative, you know, or give you a bunch of shit to distract you. All right. But the point is, it's a time and season for everything under heaven. And the time is to gather the saints to get the hell up out of here and not be as in the days of Noah and talk about, let's chill. Let's try to figure out how to live here. All right. Now, ain't nothing wrong with coming up with a strategy on how to live here in order to do what? Further the gospel. All right. Not let's we live here. We'll do a lot more lessons, but we really trying to build this, buy this house, then buy the house next to this house, and then buy the house next to that house. And then we're gonna put a school behind it, and then we'll set up a bookstore, and we got a car dealership, and that's you living in the days of Noah. Now, if you're saying like, wait, because we talk about all the time, this be more economic if such and such stay together, and do this and do that, but it's in the name of what? Continuing what we're doing now. All right, not trying to come up in society and do it together. Now you just hybriding that scripture and trying to make something dark as light. All right, you're not supposed to be talking about how you're gonna build families and shit and come up with concepts. That just happens, and you're supposed to do right by your moment. Okay, if you got a job, I had to learn that you can't just be jumping from job to job. You got a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? There's alms, there's tithes that things that help. So it's like you can't just be all over the place. All right, you can't just be fucking your credit up because you might be needed to do something. I ain't saying that you go up in there building your credit, but it would help that if you had your shit together, you know. But that's not the concept of what we're talking about. Hey, you're not taking care of yourself economically very well, unless it's affecting you in the ministry. Okay, but this ain't no like I'm doing bad in life, so I'm gonna go to this camp and they're gonna help me get on my feet, and because of that, I'm forever grateful. So I'm gonna teach. No, this is not how that works. We're coming to tell you about salvation, all right, and we're gonna focus on salvation and operate within that light. And then once we gotta live, okay. So when we're trying to teach, how you gonna get the internet? Oh man, I need money. How we gonna get money? All right, we gotta work here. I gotta do this. Gotta do that. All right. It's prioritizing. A lot of these other camps, they show themselves as the angel of light, right? Wolves in sheep's clothing. They talk about being an Israelite. They talk about unity, but it's their priorities is fucked up, and then their priorities definitely not the will of the how about Shemiah Shai, okay? And all that Israelite this is very rare that they talk about missiles, that they talk about the RFID chip, that they talk about the end of this motherfucker, man. Because they don't want the end, but the Lord wants the end. Okay?
I got a precept. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be getting the hell about this place spiritually and physically. All right? There's spiritually means that you're not looking forward to the next president because this president had the gas prices all high and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, you shouldn't be voting and shit. You shouldn't be looking forward to dumb shit, man. Now Jake be into shit, man. You might be in, you want to watch UFC fucking 312. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But you're not captivated to where, because like if I want to go to UFC 312, I would have to save up. I would have to work and do shit in order to go there. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but if that's like your life and your ass fanning and shit, you in every picture that like that's what you live for, then that's a problem. The scriptures say use this world is not abusing it. All right. Uh, uh, um, and I'm saying in regards to these other camps, as far as IUIC, mainly ISUPK as well, you know, they use this world and they abuse it, man. Okay. IUIC's foundation is being of this world. That's why a lot of women attract and flock to they setup, man. Because it caters to being here and maintaining this. And women gonna always naturally, whether in the truth or not, gonna wanna be catered to things that are here because that's what their affection is at. That's where their soul is at. How to maintain their husband. All right. So she needs to learn how to cook, how to clean. She needs to learn how to be patient. She needs to learn how to raise kids. That's all carnal assets. We need to be focused on the Lord as men. We need to be like being able to resist the flesh and things like that. We got to focus on more spiritual. We got to be more spiritually inclined than a woman. All right. So that's why women are built like that. So if you got a congregation full of women, that shows that, you know what I'm saying, you're attracting the wrong people. You know, women wanna feel good. They wanna be there, see their kids running around playing. Okay. They want to see their kids studying and being, you know, to graduating and they ain't get in trouble in school because the Bible showed them how to act a certain way, how to be passive, be soft and shit. You know, like that's what women want. They like that shit, and that's why they teach that we're not violent, speak softly, but at the same time we're stern. And, you know, rules. As women like rules. Sit down. Don't do this. Don't, you know. I ain't talking about like women are rebellious, but women are fickle. I mean, not fickle, but they are fickle, but they are sensational. You know what I'm saying? They're on the surface. They don't know how to think past just basic rules. Yeah, you know. That's why they know how to do the fucking Section 8 so well, man. You know all the rules, the dates, the time, when somebody coming. They know how to get into all that shit. That's why they be secretaries and shit. You know,
how to call to get they MUD, their electric bill paid, you know, all the programs.
Extensions and shit, how to get vouchers and shit. Man, be like, man, I ain't about to do all that shit, man.
Pay my shit on time, figure it out or something.
Peace up. It's the 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 13. It says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from the mortal thoughts.
Yeah, that said a lot, man. That's what us men are supposed to do. Renounce corruption. All right. Supposed to speak out against Section 8. Supposed to speak out against, you know, gang banging. I don't give a fuck if it's beneficial or you can look cool supporting it. You're supposed to speak out against things that are contrary to the Lord's will and our culture, man.
If I can say something, because like you said, like you definitely can't use gang bang, but like Section 8, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, speak out against it. It's like you use it, have it, whatever the case is, but don't be. You wouldn't want to dwell on it and be like, oh, where you just so holding on because it's gonna lead to the MOTB. Well, you want to keep it? Well, I gotta keep this, and they said I gotta do this if I want to. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it's beneficial, it's beneficial. Like you quoted earlier, use this world is not abusing. We are fucking passing through. We ain't setting up camp in this place, man. We passing through, man. All right? It's been a long time passing through, but nonetheless, we're passing through. Some of our people along the way got comfortable, though. Just like they did in the wilderness, started murmuring, and let's go back and do it. And like, no, we're just passing through, man. All right? Serving out our punishment, okay? And then waiting to get the hell out of here. Shit, gas prices high, we clapping. DJ Trump, he messing up the world, we're clapping. You want to go over there and mess with Iran, we're clapping because this is prophecy.
Yeah.
Like Elder Apostle Tahar said about Yaki, said, "You are a physician. You are not a prophet."
Okay.
It's just, you know what I'm saying. We dwelling on prophecy, man. We're looking forward to prophecy coming out because we really want to get the fuck out of here, man. Excuse my French. You know, we really want to get up out of here, man. Well, I don't. It's no point in this shit is crumbling. Like there's nothing left, man. You know, ain't shit left in this place.
Yeah, but it's reserved unto fire. Once you start talking, that's what I'm saying. It's like the prophets of the Most High is going to be talking about the Lord's will. The Lord's will is to bring an end to this civilization. So there's nothing conducive about speaking about how to go further in this society. You know what I'm saying? Outside of something that's conducive to you getting the hell up out of here. All right, you might get disciplined at going to work, and you learn this how to be disciplined in the truth. Okay, that's a significant conversation. Okay, but the whole burger and fringes, all right, the whole self defense program, like all that shit ain't going. Now if you're doing that to build mental fortitude or some shit, but your ass out here spraying mace and hitting ain't it like there's chariots, you know.
Right. There's chariots, right?
So like, what's the point? We talk about concentrated heat and all that. Like your ass think you gonna be sidestepping somebody?
Pepper spray.
You know what I'm saying? In the middle of Jacob's trouble, it's a redundant action. But everybody need to come up under the General Yohana. So everybody could be out here, whole fucking Harlem gonna be smelling like bear mace. Yo.
It says, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
Yeah, the burdens of man, bills, what your kids will turn out to be. You know what I'm saying? What you'll turn out to be, are you wasting your life? You know what I'm saying? Like them burdens. Just enjoy this moment and make the most of it. And the best way you can make the most of it is by being a man of the Lord and abiding by His will in that moment. Because the Lord will bless you with some money, and a brother may need it, or it'll help you further yourself in the gospel. But based off society, it'll tell you to do the fucking 20-40 rule and shit, and you're trying to follow rules. You got to be able to walk in the spirit. You're supposed to have discipline, but really your discipline is supposed to be about abiding by the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Like there was a time that Jake may have been bouncing around and not having jobs. It's gonna be a time where there ain't gonna be no job. Jacob Trouble ain't gonna be going like, I gotta go clock in. So a whole set of rules gonna change.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not like a skill set you gotta build. You just gotta be willing to do whatever. You gotta be willing to sit down. The Lord had us sit down for about like the last 7 years as far as economics, not moving around, not doing all that drinking and shit. There's a time and season for everything under heaven. Time for not drinking, time for straightening up, time for getting healthy. It ain't probably like we getting healthy so we could run miles and miles and Jacobs. No, it could be like they could be spreading a bunch of poisons all through certain foods and liquor, and the Lord had us abstain from it. You know what I'm saying? It's saying I want y'all put the spirit on y'all to get healthy. But the stuff we messing with will be dodging the shit that they pushing on people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
you go ahead.
I would say Taco Bell, they talking about they possibly getting sued because they food is possibly connected to that explosive diarrhea and shit. Well, should no brother in his right mind be eating fucking Taco Bell? Come on now. And years back, they got tested positive for horse meat. Now the article could be, could not be, whatever the case, but it's fucking Taco Bell. Go, you know what I'm saying? But like the brother's saying, like the Lord put them spirits out there. Where Apostle Elder Gabar just did a lesson in my kitchen. You know, going into his Apostle Hart speaks on it. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely out there. You know, so it's you gotta be in tune with the spirit though, man. Shit, I like this and I like that. I like Chinese food. It don't bother my stomach. It don't fucking matter, man. You gotta follow the spirit. That's why the spirit operates like that, man. All right. Are you gonna trust the spirit, or are you gonna trust your own heart, or be negligent, so to speak? Well, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Then you fuck around and you in the hospital. Hey, brother, throw up some prayers for me, man. I ate that Taco Bell yeah, exactly. You know?
It said through Yahshua made all things. That means you're willing to do whatever. You're willing to be a vegan in his name. You're willing to eat healthy in his name. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to go and fight in his name. You're willing to go and let shit happen. Let somebody whoop your ass in his name. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that you get what you want, any and everything you want, long as you serve him. That don't mean it don't mean that. It means that when I say I can do all things, meaning whatever you need me to do, I do it to its max. I'm gonna be the next thing closest to an angel. You know, that's what it means, and it means that it takes a lot.
That's a heavy statement.
If you're not willing to get up and fight, or you're a person that's have a cowardice spirit, then and the Lord tell you get up and fight, you're gonna reason within yourself, but not a right, telling yourself, but nah, the Lord don't want me to do that. Why would he want me to harm my temple or some crazy shit like that?
I get the precept.
Yep, Bible shot.
This Romans 11 and 13, more so the end of the precept. It says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office." You know what I'm saying? So whatever you're supposed to be doing, magnify. When you go into that, I was speaking with a brother earlier. It speaks about like shining up, like having pretty much having something so clean that you can see a reflection in it. Now, if you got a car, you go to a car show. Tell me if you see any mud on any car. You're not going to see no mud because it's a fucking car show. Trust me, they done washed it, waxed it, washed it, and waxed it again because they want that splendor. They want to magnify their car. So whatever our office is, and it's true, according to this body, we ought to be doing the same thing. As Paul was saying, the Lord wanted me to go to the Gentiles. Okay, well, I'm going to magnify that office. If I'm the one that's fit for this moment, I'm about to magnify that. I'm about to do it accordingly and do it above my own means. It's not about me at that point, man. You know? So whatever needs to be done, I got to be willing to do it. All right, like brother said, you be a vegan in the Lord's name, or you do this, or whatever the case. Because sometimes the Lord, the Lord just had on my spirit the other day, and I was doing this lesson. The Lord just put you through things you might not know. Like when he was washing Peter's feet, like, look, what I'm doing now, you don't understand, but you're going to understand hereafter. So there's things that happen to us so you can be in a certain mindset when you go to another situation. All right? But if you be reasoning within yourself, going according to your own heart, leaning into your own understanding, then you're going to miss that fucking train, man. Now you're waiting for the next train, and then the next train, and then the next train.
So that magnifying, you know, and like in comparison, because when you're moving, you have to be able to adapt, and it takes IQ in order to be able to adapt. You got to know the scriptures. You got to be able to rehearse the righteous acts to be able to have the comfortability to adapt. You know what I'm saying? And within this walk. And that's why it says, you know, you rehearse the righteous acts so you can get used to doing things. Because you could be a selfish person and not used to giving. And the Lord will give you something and tell you to give it to somebody and be like, but I need it. And so it'll stop you from, again, being everything you need to be. Now we're talking about magnifying, that's more of what you have in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And when you magnifying something, because sometimes actions, they're like your office would be like where your lot is. And it's like going right by that moment. To your best abilities, because I can magnify my office as being a speaker by increasing my speaking abilities, reading more, you know, looking up things to see what helps improve speeches, things of that nature, so I can make my speech more sharp. But then you got when somebody comes up and they come with an attitude, but really they just want edification. And I use my observing skills and I'm in the moment. So I'm doing right. I ain't gonna curse you out. You just asking questions. You may be hurt or whatever, and I answer the questions the right way. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it be when you know how to move. Because it be people coming up, and sometimes people will come up, and brothers are just it's happened before. It ain't like we're being wicked, but you know, brothers will stick to their subject, and somebody just be standing there. And sometimes you supposed to not say something, but most of the time it's like, hey, you address them. They're clearly standing there, and you do things all into edification, right? Hey, so what should what you out here for? What you bop bop bop? You answer questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but there's all these are skill sets, but it's not some of these things is in a moment, man. A lot of things is in a moment. It's like fighting. Slipping is a skill set, and you're supposed to magnify that by drilling it over and over and over. But you're not gonna go in a fight and say this is what I'm gonna do, because nothing goes as planned. It's sporadic. But if you're sharpening your tools on a constant basis, when you get in the fight, which is random, you'll be able to use what you magnified. You know what I'm saying? In the flow of that genre. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much you gotta be able to have faith in what you worked on, as far as these, you know, keep in order the prophecies. You know, because you gotta prep for prophecy. You can't just wake up and talk about this truth and then don't do anything about it and think that your body and your mind is gonna react to it. You know, the Lord know what you say, and the Lord know what you do. And He says that they draw nigh to me with their lips. You could be out here saying DTA all day, but then you all up under your woman, you're doing this, doing that. But when the prophecies come to pass, what you've been saying is going to match up with reality. And if you haven't physically rehearsed things to get used to going without, to get used to saying fuck people, to get used to giving your last for the name of the Lord, to doing things in His name, even though it's a hindrance to you, being uncomfortable in His faith, all right, being merciful, being, whatever you need to be for the Lord. When that time really comes, all that talking is gonna have to come to a physical manifestation. And that's why I said the affliction is gonna burn, is gonna show you what man you really are. Because everybody can hide behind. We all looking on YouTube. There could be somebody that just don't give a fuck about nothing about this truth and just have good memory, and they just want to hurt the nigga woman. So they may talk about the truth and blend in, but have but really just be living and trying to do all kind of nasty, freaky shit. Then he can hide himself. Then the day come, he's gonna actually have to be, judgmental. We have to give alms, and he ain't gonna fit in at all. Okay, but you go ahead, brother.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19. It says, "For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more."
Yeah, so we're when it means be free, I'm not regulated. I'm not your servant. It's just like being a personal trainer. I'm not no personal trainer. I'm just a coach. So I'm free from you. But everything I learned as a coach is to help you be a better fighter. So I'm a servant unto all. Okay? So if I'm the same thing as us being prophets. All right, we're working on our skill set, but we're not specifically doing it for you, where you say, oh, I want to learn about this. And I just run and go study it for hours and hours. Like I'm Chat GPT, and then I come and give it the information you need. No, you get your ass up. But at the same time, everything I'm learning is for everybody else. And people get that mixed up. They start learning things for themselves and say, hey, look at me. I know this. No, you walk around and just make a fucking 5-star meal and like, I can cook real good, and then take the meal and put it in the garbage can. What's the fucking point to that? Let another man praise thee. Do your job. Have pride in what you do, but not to the point that it's self-serving. Have pride for its purpose. So if you're learning how to teach, you would say I did a good job based on how many people are receptive and understand what you say, not how bigger words, the soliloquies, and the perceptions and annotations. You know,
And that was polite. Then he come out with go look him up. No, you just
Break it down.
but people draw. It's a thing of wickedness. Politeness is he's an example of that wickedness, a good example of somebody just using eloquent words for themselves. But then you could be a person that's just an eloquent speaker, and you could really get through to people. You know what I'm saying? Because when the thing by not being eloquent, you don't know how to find the words, and your words become sharp and fierce. Or sometimes you gotta learn how to talk around a person without aggravating. You know, because if I'm talking to the police, it has nothing to do with like a rude speech. And he say you got to get up, y'all got to get the fuck up off here. He's saying anger. Now I'm gonna come with an energy of matching or quenching that energy, but at the same time I'm saying article legislation such and such and such and such. We're not obligated to move and blah blah blah. That's speaking with intelligence, not using big ass words. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm defending the situation. Now, if a nigga woman come up and say y'all on this thing, blah blah blah, and it's like okay, well we'll step off it. We won't mess with it, but you can't tell us to move. I'm not about to have that same type of eloquent conversation, but I ain't gonna say shut up, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You know? Oh, that's an old lady. Why would you disrespect somebody like that? Then the police officer is like, I don't gotta move. I ain't doing shit. No, once you start talking certain legislations, then they'll know that okay, this person ain't legally. I'm speaking their language, but that's the form of being a good speaker, right? So people can manipulate that, and it's often manipulated. You know, doing things for Israel. All right. Hey, how you doing?
hey.
Ellie does forever.
She always fine.
Always fine.
That might be one of y'all wives.
and they can have this like union, like IUIC do this union thing. When the Lord says, feed the poor, they actually feeding the poor, and it seems like they doing it, but you're supposed to feed them with this gospel, man. All right, the right recipe too. Okay, because a little leaven up the whole lump. All right, and none of these camps are as consistent when it comes to pushing this word, man. When it comes to really feeding them wholesome, that soul food. Okay, GMS got the soul food, and we have it in abundance, man. All right, we like a soul food taco truck that never closes, man.
Hey.
All right.
It says, and unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach, that I might gain them that are without law.
Yeah, so it's like you're doing things for the whole purpose of the matter. All right, because we believe in the thermonuclear missiles. You know what I'm saying? We believe in the MOTB coming. All right, so we're going to warn our people from that on a consistent basis and on every level. All right, that's why the Lord chose the base things of the world to confound the wise, because he's getting it from the root all the way up into the top. All right, now you got a bunch of people that just talk over your head all fucking day. And most of us are from Nazareth. Most of the elect, the bulk of the elect is from Nazareth, man. They poor. And at the bottom, the bulk of Israel is at the bottom. Why would the Lord send a bunch of motherfuckers that's highly educated to talk to people at the bottom? Okay? The Lord sent a fit group of people, and also to put it in a situation to where it was fit for only the right people to choose it. Because send a base man, A nigga that ain't gonna follow no base man. He don't follow logic. He's sensual. He follow nigga with cars and Jews. He follow the flesh. And that's why that sifting works. The Lord set everything up in his purpose, man. You know? So that's why we're gonna keep talking about these missiles. We're gonna keep talking about the MOTB. We're gonna keep talking about Jacob's trouble. All right, because it's gonna do what? It's gonna sift. It's gonna separate. Now UIC need to keep talking about burgers and fringes. Johanna keep talking about everybody need to come up on them. You could do it in the blood, do what you want, because you're gonna gather niggas where they need to be. Esau keep pushing his presidency, but one thing that's gonna happen, prophecy is gonna come to pass, man. All right, it's gonna be wars and rumors of wars. It's gonna be sedition among men. Okay, it's gonna be a famine. All right, it's gonna be the MOTB, Jacob's trouble, martial law. Okay, these things is coming. And whatever side you're at, pursuant to Isaiah, was it 13th chapter, I believe, towards the end is whoever found with them shall be thrust through. And also say that people shall go to their own nations. Okay, these are processes that's going to happen, and people are so stupid. You got niggas that just hanging with all kind of nations and shit, like a boy that got caught on the boat. Mm-hmm. That's gonna happen in mass, man. And these people don't even know that, like, people don't understand, even the people that you hang around don't know that they have it in them like that. You know? But they know they have it in them. They know, like, you ain't my people. So we all, like, I had an Edomite friend when I was young, and I was in the world. I was pretty much like, I was in the, like, 4th grade, 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? And I had an Edomite friend. He was actually cooler than the Jake friend. But we all playing basketball, and Jake started losing to Esau. He was doing his ass dirty with the fundamentals. So he got mad and swung on that boy. That boy ducked, wrestled him, and had him on top, and he was punching him. And the spirit had me make a choice. So I hit the Edomite. Mung. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I have no reason to hit him. He was actually better to me than the Jake was. Jake playing pranks on me and shit, trying to put me in sleeper holes. You know what I'm saying? But I help him out because, hey, that's just an instinctual thing. You know? Because you know you got to go back home to that. You know what I'm saying? Esau knows that. You know, he a cool one. He a cool one. He a pet type of energy. But then when it comes down, y'all both get into it. Edomite ain't gonna sit there and say, "Oh, well, let's be logical here." You know, just like when we teach, and they always come up to us and try to quench our spirit, but they don't go up to the government and try to quench their spirit. Okay, they just complain about, yeah, that is wrong. But you walking up to us, y'all need to shut this down. Don't be teaching all this hate and all this bullshit. Just please. Go stick, now you tell us, go stick to your own. That's why we're supposed to stick to our own, man. All right? I ain't saying that, you know, like, because you're going to be around Edomites. I'm talking about pouring yourself into somebody. You're supposed to stick to your own, man. Because once it come down, you're not going to get a piece of their pie. All right? They'll let your ass sell all the mills. They'll let you hang around. They'll let you put their logo on. But you're not going to get a piece of their pie. You know? But Jake could give you a piece of their pie. Jake been giving y'all fucking, they gave Esau country music, rock and roll. They gave him, you know what I'm saying, basketball. They gave him light bulbs. All right? And Esau's so arrogant at this point, he throw his hands in the air. Oh, yeah, here you go. Inconsiderate as hell, man. Jake built this whole country. Negroes built this whole country, and all you can say is talk shit. Say, hey, Jake lazy. All kind of disrespectful, derogative things. But yet our people is still adamant on trying to make league with Esau. And us prophecy through that shit. You just want the benefits of what he could provide. You a dick sucker. You know, and you're just trying to reason to justify, you know, now you're using reason, but you're also offensive, saying that we're stupid or silly for not getting an education, you know, or working a certain way, or voting. all this other bullshit. Because society, if you do all this in society, everybody in society benefits. They become better. And you're hanging with the like FELTs, you know, and you look like you right, but you ain't see the end of this fucking. I'm gonna stick with my squad. Yeah, we gonna look like we about to lose. But then them chairs start coming and shit, you start losing. Oh fuck. Ain't no coming back, man. Those who are joined unto him shall be thrust through. And it's a process, man. And people are joined unto this world. All right. You supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be pilgrims. Because again, Jake do all kind of shit, man. Jake work, have cool co-workers you may be cool with. You might go to have hobbies. Your ass might play pickleball. And only Edomites there, shit. So you got a little pickleball motherfucker you play pickleball with. You know, that's what it is. Fucking missiles come, they, you know, like they ain't gonna invite your ass nowhere into their bunker. And if they do, they're gonna end up fucking your ass up, man. You know?
I mean, think about that little Edomite.
Come in. They'll do that, man. That's why, but it's beautiful because it's all gonna manifest. And guess who? There's a lot of people that's sticking and way stuck in the middle of the island. And the nigga woman's stuck in the middle of the island. And they ain't leaving. They got that Shannon Sharp. Nope, I don't care. You know, we like, yo, they turning on y'all too. You see that, huh? Nope, we just gonna fight and bicker. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna stay with him. That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him. That's how the end of it is. And when Esau Island start burning, the Lord gonna burn the bridge to get back over here to Yasharah's side, man. And your ass gonna be stuck on the island getting raped, eaten, you know. And they're showing you when they did the old boy that on the boat, and they do that Jake that all the fucking time, man. Leave him in water, tell him, you can swim, you cool, laughing and shit, send your ass on dummy missions. They do it at work. They always got a bunch of Edomites that don't do shit, that make everybody irritated, but then they got the nigga, and he walking around all stressed out, yelling at all the niggas. Came and hang with him, he trying to hang with him and shit. You know, Esau do that, then they'll fire the fuck out his ass, man, and hire somebody else real fast. You know?
Go ahead. So Sirach chapter 12 and verse 15, speaking about the wicked, says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And friends do that, niggas do that. All right? And Esau definitely is gonna do that, man. If niggas will do it, Esau definitely is, man. All right, he ain't gonna tarry once shit hit the fan and things get serious. Okay, they gonna leave you. They can go to their uncle house, but their uncle don't take niggas. You know, just like the Lord don't take 2/3 and they're a heathen. So when the Lord start beaming me up, I'm not gonna say, oh no, what about such and such? You know, like me and the brother was joking about, like, you know, we know some heathen that aren't Edomites, they cool. And if I see them in the kingdom, I'll give them a seat with a decent seat within their office, man. I make them whatever the motherfucker I speak to all the time. The one that, you know, that's over the victuals and tithes and all that. If the Lord say the same, that we're a part of the first receivers of the labor. You know what I'm saying? See a heathen that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially them, you know, the Middle Easterns, they come from Ur. A lot of them guys come from Ur, man. You know, Armenians and shit like that, Tajiks. You know, some motherfuckers cool. You know, and you see him, hey man, come here, man. I'm gonna put him up. I'm gonna put him over Moab, man. Put him over this person. Put him over them. You know, it's like, you know, a nigga forget who he is, or he could be an Israelite. Nah, it's a cool heathen. You know? But yeah, man, I digress. We just, you know, we went down rabbit holes. At the end of the day, America's gonna be destroyed, and we pushing for it. America's the daughter of Babylon. We're gonna keep saying that. The missiles is the lake of fire, which the Bible speaks of. The mark of the beast is the MOTB RFID chip. All right, Jacob's trouble is going to pertain to martial law and draconian measures. All right, we're going to push these things. Okay, the NATO and the EU is the dragon. All right, with the 7 heads and 10 horns, and a woman that sits on the back is America. Okay, and the ones controlling that whole dragon is Amalek, the small hats, man. We're gonna keep telling that. We're gonna keep telling. Okay, and guess what? It's dangerous. They come up with anti-Semitic, trying to broaden their scope with that. They're trying to get their hands on the U.S. military. All right, that's why it's gonna be a time that it's gonna be a famine of the word, man. Okay, and y'all gonna have to really use. You ain't gonna be able to talk about GMS. Watch us do all the fucking groundwork and try to critique it. Ain't gonna be nothing to do. You know, vocab ain't gonna have nobody to talk to and try to get to listen. You know, so he can make his keep his league with whatever CIA scruffy that's over him. You know, ain't gonna be no more YouTube. Try to shit on GMS so you can get more likes. Ain't gonna be none of that, man. It's gonna be you and your skill set to survive. And I love it, man.
Yeah, precept, right?
And the Lord, and it's gonna be so much shit going on that you're gonna need Yahweh Shemi Shai. And when you resisted him throughout your whole fucking life, it's all you're gonna have is what you labored for. You go ahead, brother.
Like I said, the work is gonna be tested. You know, whatever don't survive is gonna be burnt up.
Yep.
You know. So you was like, "What, man? That metal too heavy, man. I'm just carrying this wood right here. You know, I'm gonna build mines on wood. Well, when the fire comes and it get burnt up, you decided to roll with the wood because it was easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you didn't want to get up early.
You didn't want to. Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 70. It says, well, the point is in 73. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known. Who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire," man.
So yeah, because everybody's gonna like the elect will eat in the time of famine, but the threat of the threat level is still gonna be implied on us. All right, but it won't affect us. It's like if we in a crowd and we walking and they let loose a Gatling gun, we're gonna be the only one standing. You know what I'm saying? But we still gonna see them sit in front of us and go, you know, pretty much that danger is still a threat, so-called, to us, but you gotta have faith. And that's why a lot of people are gonna fall off, because we'll be walking next to people that, you know, of the world or whatever. Because, you know, Jake gonna believe like people that ain't in the truth like that got a chance and shit. Ain't like you got cousins, family members, and they gonna be talking. You're gonna, you know, hypothetically, you know, then your ass gonna do something, and then you're gonna be sitting there, and they're gonna do something, and they're gonna walk off, and then a fucking drone hit their ass. Boom! You're gonna be like, oh shit. You know, everybody put your whatever, you know, start praying, and a drone just took them out. And the rest of the drones hovering and pass us up. You know what I'm saying? And go hit somebody else and shit. But it was like he was there just to let us know to start praying. You know? Like that's you know how it go. And you know, Jake just got us like, what for you then? There's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be two in the field, one gonna be taken up, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And like it said, those that fear the Lord, so the Lord said He's gonna start at His sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? So you calling yourself an Israelite, saying that you coming in the name of the Lord or going according to the will, well, you're gonna be tested according to that. You know what I'm saying? All these IUIC, ISUPK, ABC, 1, 2, 3, whatever you have, But if you calling yourself an Israelite, don't think because you ain't got a 501c3 from Esau that he just gonna let. This is Esau we dealing with, man. Come on, man. Like that's why the scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy." You know, this shit might be candy painted, but it's always a chip in his paint, which means it's always gonna rust, man. All right, it's always gonna rust. He don't give a damn about nobody but nobody. As simple as that, man. You ain't in his five finger circle, just this little small. It is what it is, too, you know. Like the brother was doing a lesson the other day. He was speaking on how Esau. Look at what he do to his own nation. You go to this corner, that corner, you see a bunch of Edomites with signs and all of this shit. The veterans, you know, a lot of these veterans and went and lost a leg, lost a limb, went crazy, whatever the case. He don't care, man. So why he gonna care about your black ass? Cause you was being his little deceiver, man.
Right.
He gonna throw your ass to the side of the road too.
Yeah, that's why you're supposed to have integrity, man, because it's a hard maze. If you're indulging in this world, it'll entice you to be unloyal to your people. And the nigga woman is a prime example of that. She receives so many benefits, and it's not even real benefits. Like her status as a woman, based off how much selling out she did, she should be the top woman on planet Earth. But she's the top prostituted woman on planet Earth.
Yeah.
All right, she's always used to be put on platforms to be yelling at somebody, to be sicked on somebody, to be paraded as a hypersexual, okay? And you're just walking around society. You feel like you're benefiting because you're the most educated, but they need motherfuckers to go to school to put in debt. So of course, that's why you're leading in education, but you're not leading in finances. Okay? You're leading in entrepreneurs, but you're not leading in successful businesses. You know? And that's how the devil works. And he'll tell you those statistics. Women are the most educated. And he'll be like, yeah. And it's like, pretty around, this is a black woman, one of the most educated women. She has a man, you're feeling good, but in all reality, ain't shit going. Okay, you by yourself. You don't have no husband. You haven't been around to cultivate your kids. If you have kids, now you seeing the end, you're hitting a wall, and life start kicking in, what you was meant to be doing. Because Satan will deceive you, man. All right, you get certain chemical releases from hugging on your child. You get certain chemical releases from lifting up and picking up things, from getting the kids from your woman, or watching over your kids, or like women when they have kids, they have a natural heightened chemical. Their chemicals will go a certain way to where they don't sleep as easy, man. All right, like your body is subject to life. And Esau have you to take Dayquil or NyQuil. You up all night. You out of order, man. And the nigga woman don't know. That's why she's confused and hurt, yelling at everybody. Mainly the nigga, the counterparts.
That's the number one suspect to blame. It gotta be you. Can't be my baby Esau.
Yeah, well, they was taught that. It was taught that because capitalism requires you to be divided. You
said what, dude? Capitalism?
Yeah, capitalism. They got it. If they want everybody to vote for one person, they need everybody divided. Because if everybody come together, they're gonna start talking and saying, "This nigga's stupid." Yeah. We all, you know what? We all agree. But if we all by ourselves, we're gonna be like, "That nigga's stupid," but I'm just one person.
Yeah. Perfect example, the Tower of Babel. Go there, confuse their language, just disperse them. But when they all was, in the same mindset, same language, they was, all right, let's do this,
Yep. And people are evil. But we're gonna be able to put the whole world under one government, one system, because it's gonna be a righteous system.
Okay. It's not the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. Not of our own will. None of us man, hey man, us five, we should get together and get out there and teach the Bible.
Ain't gonna see nobody on the corner
Yeah.
leaning over.
This brother was born in a different state. This brother was born in a different state. And his brother was born in this state. But guess what? We're all here under the same banner, Yahweh Shem Shai, because that's how the spirit operates. That's what Esau wants. But he got to do it by. Well, he'll do it through trickery and deceit, but it only lasts so long.
Well, you do it through WhatsApp, Facebook. You know, you stay connected from different states, but it ain't the same.
God, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's never the same. You know, but it's so enticing that it makes it way easier than meeting up, learning people. You know, you could just send, congratulations, and it actually just send it confetti busting your ass. You sent that like that.
They care so much.
Yeah, you see the confetti like, wow, he really meant that. Like,
that's funny as hell.
Yeah, that motherfucker, he sent that text, threw it down, got back on the game and shit.
You can make that motherfucker show lasers and shit.
Yeah, he's like, this person really love me. And then you meet him and they're not like that at all.
Yeah.
You know, that's Esau society, man. We're gonna go into a society where you're gonna know people, man. You're gonna like fall in love, to actually have to love somebody.
Yeah.
You know, because people won't fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? If people are genuinely like your kids, you supposed to love a woman more than you love your kids, man. You know, and a woman's supposed to love a man more than she love her kids, but everybody fucking over everybody, so you can't even like fathom your mind being there. And most niggas that mind is there, they're bugged out, man. You know, you can't be a man and love your woman. You have to be a pet. That's why the black womanist God niggas, but they look at the fruit of their labors. A lot of them don't even be married that long. Crazy as hell, beating on their women. Let one of us do it, then we scum of the earth. You know? But y'all got anything? So with that being said, we're gonna give all praises
unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Machakwadash.
Double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.
No, she ain't shit. She ain't.